The World Boxing Board title is on the line in extra. Three-time Mexican amateur champ Andres Fernandez, who now makes his home in Albuquerque, fights ELIAS Paulin for the World Boxing Board title Friday. Boxing will compete with a full weekend of global sports.
We have pre-sold over 800 tickets. And, you know, the Lobos play on Saturday. This is on Friday. We did that on purpose so we didn't compete with them. So should be a great weekend for all the sports fans in New Mexico.
A total of 9 bouts are on the card with Fernandez headlining. He's 10-1, and his only loss comes from another boxer, Albuquerque's Danny Romero Jr. The fight card at the...
Hello, boxing fans, and welcome to tonight's Rising Stars 8-card Dan Cisneros here at the Manuel Lujan Complex on the State Fairgrounds of the New Mexico Fairgrounds here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Joining me for tonight's broadcast is the former chairman of the New Mexico State Athletic Commission and current World Championship judge Stan Gallup. And Stan, let's jump right into the bouts here. We have a WBB World Championship bout, bantamweights. Andres Fernandez, 10-1 with 9 KOs, taking on ELIAS Paulin. What can you tell us about this bout?
Well, it ought to be a great fight, just by indicating that each of them has won 9 or 10 fights and only lost 1 or 2. That means the odds are pretty well even. It's a pick'em fight.
We'll be back with more boxing action from Albuquerque after these words from our sponsors.
Now for your principals. First, fighting out in the blue corner. He has a professional record of 9 wins, 3 losses, 7 KOs. Coming to you from Veracruz, Mexico. Now fighting out of the Great Forum in Los Angeles, California. Please give a warm hand for ELIAS Paulin. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner. Hailing from Albuquerque, New Mexico, by the way of Chihuahua, Mexico. He is a 3-time amateur national champion with a professional record of 10 wins, 1 loss. All 10 wins coming by the way of KO. Andres Fernandez.
World Boxing Board Bantamweight Championship, 119-pound limit. And Stan, I think Andreas had a hurdle to jump yesterday at the weigh-in. You want to tell us about that?
Well, he did have. As a matter of fact, he had to come back twice. He was over a pound and a quarter, pound and 3/4 at the beginning, but had to sweat it off, run, and then finally came back the second time and still was in a little bit of the trouble.
So Andres Fernandez finally got his weight down to the 119-pound limit. We're underway with the WBB Bantamweight Championship. Dan Cisneros at ringside along with Stan Gallup. ELIAS Paulin making a name for himself at the Forum in Los Angeles. But Andreas comes in with that good power. There's a nice right hand by Andres Fernandez. Fernandez now with some left hands to the body. And Andres Fernandez with a tremendous amateur background. And he's already beaten 2 former national Golden Glove highly touted amateur fighters as a professional.
Well, he's going to do a good job. You know, I back up to ELIAS Paulin for just a second. In our conversation with him, he claims to have won 12 fights, lost 3, and winning 9 by knockout. It's a little bit of a different record than we had, but then, you know, everybody's got his own agenda.
Right, well, that's what his handlers tell us, 12-3 with 9 KOs. It's a pretty impressive record. Andres Fernandez with a big win over Baldito Ramirez, who was an amateur star. There's a nice body shot by Paulin. And Andres just continues to roll here. Last time out, big knockout over Ario Dominguez here at the fairgrounds on Rising Stars 7. And right now you see Andreas mixing it up pretty nicely. Now he throws some body shots, comes over the top with right hands to the head. Looks like Andres Fernandez is softening Paulin up there with the body shots, looking to work into the later rounds.
You know, as a matter of fact, Fernandez's win over Baldito Ramirez was the first fight that Ramirez had lost after having won the National Golden Glove Championship. He's from Denver, Colorado. Fine young man.
Yeah, I think Ramirez, Baldito Ramirez handlers, they were looking at Andreas Fernandez as just an opponent, a stepping stone, and it backfired on him.
Yes, it did.
Andreas Fernandez now in the white trunks, Andy written across the back waistband. ELIAS PAULIN in the turquoise colored trunks with the black lettering. This bout scheduled for 12. It is for the vacant WBB bantamweight title. Now Fernandez has been doing some nice body work here, I think, and he's trained by Melchor Chavez also, always in top shape, Melchor Chavez fighters, and Andreas Fernandez another example of that.
You know, Melchor Chavez takes boxers and kickboxers around the world. He does a lot of work in the Orient, Japan, and over in that part of the world.
Nice uppercuts and hooks being thrown here. Paulin firing back, but Andreas Fernandez staggering him, and there's a solid right hand by Fernandez. At the bell, we'll be back with more of this title bout. Stay tuned. Back to the action, the WBB Bantamweight Championship of the World. Andreas Fernandez in the white trunks out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Former Mexican amateur star, moved to Albuquerque, and an outstanding rising professional fighter. His opponent, ELIAS PAULIN, in the turquoise trunks out of Mexico. And now Andreas on a good attack to the head. He's been mixing it up pretty well. Okay, a warning from referee Nefi Quintana. Oh, sneaks a right hand in there. Andreas Fernandez. Paulin missing with an overhand right. He runs right into a left hand now. Fernandez mixing it up pretty well here. Good offensive display by Andreas Fernandez, Stan.
He's doing an excellent job. It seems to me that Paulin is having a little bit of trouble keeping his hands up. He's getting hit 2 or 3 times in a row.
And Fernandez with a couple of wicked uppercuts there. Nice uppercuts. There's a body shot from Paulin now, left hand to the body. Andreas Fernandez just continuing to improve, and he's another product of Lenny Fresquez's Rising Stars concept. He's one of the examples of what this is all about. He's been improving. A lot of talk about him locally, and if he can win this title, he will move up in the rankings. I believe he is ranked number 16 in the NABF right now at this weight. Andreas working nice inside, comes back with a right hand straight down the pipe. Paulin getting pushed back now. He holds onto the glove. Referee Nefi Quintana jumps in there.
Paulin seems to hold his left hand low, and Fernandez is just able to get in there with the right. He's bombarding him with the right hand.
Yeah, he's playing right into the hands of Fernandez. That's his bread and butter, that right hand. Blood now coming from the nose of Andreas Fernandez, a little trickle of blood. Oh, and a solid right hand to the chin of Paulin. He took it, but he felt it. And a left hand from Fernandez. Just loading up now with the lefts and rights. Andreas Fernandez. Again, Fernandez beats Paulin to the punch there. And Stan, I think Andreas Fernandez does a nice job of mixing his punches to the body and head. He doesn't just go all to one department.
Yes, he does. He works that left hand well and comes in with a good uppercut every once in a while. A right hand often.
Yeah. Yeah, real nice work by Andreas Fernandez. 10 seconds to go in this one. Another good round for Andreas Fernandez as they mix it up. Stay tuned, more action coming up.
All right, into the second round.
Back to the ring for this third round. Dan Cisneros at ringside, coming to you from the Lujan complex here on the State Fairgrounds, the New Mexico State Fairgrounds, here in Albuquerque. Stan Gallup at my side here, and so far, Stan, I have 2 rounds for Andreas Fernandez. What do you think?
Oh, I think so. As a matter of fact, there's no doubt in my mind. And you never know.
Never know. Spoken like a true judge. Stan Gallup, WBO World Championship judge. And right now, Andres Fernandez doing some nice work and catches. He clips Paulin with an uppercut. Paulin staying on the ropes. He should get out of there. Andres Fernandez continuing to work, fires a left to the body. Paulin answers back with a left. Not as much steam on it, though, as Fernandez. Andres Fernandez has developed some pretty nice power. I saw him as an amateur a few times here in Albuquerque, and it didn't impress me, but boy, as a professional, he's become a power fighter. There's some nice inside work by Andres Fernandez in the white trunks. He just continues to move in. It's all Fernandez to this point. Andres Fernandez lost his pro debut. That's his only loss. He was fighting in Los Angeles, just didn't feel right, wasn't ready, just kind of lost out there in LA, and he took a loss in his pro debut, and since then has run off a string of 10 straight victories, 9 by knockout. Most impressive, Andres Fernandez in the white trunks.
But you know, every once in a while, Danny, a boxer needs to lose a fight just to learn a lesson. That he is not just totally indestructible. Right. Every once in a while, there's somebody that's a little bit better, and it happens. But you learn from losing. And
I think Andres has a real nice, the way he thinks about boxing. You know, he's humble. I mean, he's willing to be taught.
Well, I put him in the same category as Frankie Archuleta.
Right.
Those are two fine young guys, you know, and they don't make a lot of racket outside the ring, but they just hit you when you get in the ring.
Right. Yeah, Lenny Fresquez with a nice stable of boxers. Nice boxers and nice people as well.
Yes.
Right now, Andres Fernandez continuing to work, really just pushing Elias around the ring. You know, it's unusual, the WBB standards. Oh, there was a right. Andreas pulled out, and now a bad cut to Andres Fernandez. His right eye is just pouring blood out. It's dripping badly. This is going to be something for Melchor Chavez to work on. He's claiming a headbutt. Let's see if referee Nefi Quintana.
The referee has asked for a timeout. He's going to ask the doctor to come up there and check it.
Oh, boy, that's a bad cut, and Andreas was just wearing this man out.
Yeah.
And right now, a lot of this fight is going to be in the hands of the doctor. Bad cut to the right eye of Andres Fernandez.
Well, his coach Melchor Chavez is working on it. Dr. Milligan will be up there. It's bleeding very badly.
Okay, so Dr. Milligan is going to let it go. Blood streaming down the face of Andres Fernandez. I don't know how much time is left in this round. Oh, at the bell. We'll be back for more action. Don't miss it. Stay with us. Back to the action now for round 4 of this world title bout. The WBB Bantamweight title on the line here, vacant title. Andres Fernandez now going in for the kill. He's got a bad cut, and he may have been told that he doesn't have much time to get busy. He landed a nice right hand there. Elias Paulin now, maybe the sight of the cut on his opponent would give him a little... Oh, and he got hit while he was down. Andres Fernandez lost his cool there. Hits the man while he's down. Let's see if Paulin tries to milk it now, or if he gets up. But he was flagrantly hit, Stan. Well, what about it?
Well, it's going to be a tough thing to call, because the referee he's got his hands full at this point, and he's going to come around and tell the judges he's going to take 1 point away. That's going to be the penalty. That'll be the penalty for hitting the boxer while he was down, but that could very well have been a disqualification.
Andres Fernandez needs to keep his head. He came very close to getting disqualified there, but he loses a point, and now he goes to work. He landed a right hand. Paulin tries to answer back with some body shots, but Fernandez keeping the pressure on, continuing to punch. And these guys are just throwing everything they have here. This could end pretty soon. The way it's looking, blood just pouring down the face of Andres Fernandez. And this guy's just giving it all he's got. One last shot with that terrible cut over his right eye. And Elias Paulin willing to mix it up with Andres Fernandez here. He's not on his bicycle, but maybe didn't have a choice as Fernandez puts the pressure on him, going for the knockout. I mean, he's got to be a little bit panicky, feeling that blood just streaming down his face. And he held back. He was tempted to let that right hand fly again. He kept his head, though. Comes in with a body shot. Paulin with a nice counter left. Fernandez maybe getting a little bit reckless, though, in his desperation.
I don't think the 1-point deduction is going to make much difference because it was probably a 10-7 round or a 10-8. Could wind up as a 10-9 with Andres winning the round anyway. But the problem here is that he's got to hang in without that cut stopping it for him.
The right side of his face is just a mask of crimson as that blood is just pouring down. It's all over his trunks now. And his corner's going to have a big job on their hands. But I agree that he is dominating the round, and the point deduction is just going to bring Paulin back a little bit. But still, it's all Andres Fernandez. Let's see what's going to happen with this cut, though. And referee Nefi Quintana, an experienced world-class referee, has a lot on his mind in this one. Good left hand now by Fernandez. Paulin trying to answer back, but Andres Fernandez just not wearing down. He's staying busy, able to land punishing blows.
Paulin is concentrating on staying on his feet. He doesn't want to go down.
Right, well, he knows with that cut that there might be a chance for him somehow. Right. 10 seconds to go in this round. It's a good one. It's bloody. What a battle here for the WBB title. We'll be back with more after this. Back to the action here for the WBB Bantamweight title. It's been all Andres Fernandez, but he's working with that handicap of that cut over the right eye, a terrible cut. And let's see now if the last round, I think he went out looking to end this fight quickly. Let's see if he settled down in boxes or if he continues to go for the big knockout here. The title belt at stake, 119-pound title.
Well, Fernandez is having a hard time now putting him down. I think that Paulin has decided that if I can just stay in, if I can just hang in here, that eventually the doctor's going to stop that fight. All I need to do is hit him 2 or 3 more times on that bad eye.
And just bust it wide open. That's what he's targeting right now, no doubt about it. There it is again. Well, he's firing right hands, landing to the left side. He should be working more with that left. But the blood, I'm telling you, Andreas' face is just a bloody mask on the right side of his face.
You know, there's another danger, too, on the part of Fernandez because he is trying to go for a knockout here before the fight is stopped, and he's going to run out of gas. He's going to just out-punch himself.
Oh, he is. He is burning up everything. There's no more pacing. The whole fight plan, Stan, has to be out the window now. This changes everything, but the blood, this is a terrible cut. Just bleeding profusely.
I don't think Melchor Chavez is going to be able to stop that.
I don't
He
either.
has done a fairly good job, but 1 minute is all he has to work on that fight, and it's just, he's going to have a very difficult time.
Boy, oh boy, but in the meantime, the two are mixing it up here in the center of the ring right now. Andreas Fernandez desperately trying for the knockout. And Paulin, as Stan Gallup said, as you said, Stan, just trying to stay on his feet and hope that cut moves things into his favor. I mean, whatever it takes to get the title belt. There's a lot at stake here, really.
Well, I think, unfortunately, that Fernandez now, his punches are becoming less effective because he's just simply running out of gas.
Yeah, he can't really afford to back off and take a rest and you know, get a second win. He just keeps punching. One thing in his favor in that case is that he is a busy fighter always, so he is used to staying busy, but not at this pace now.
There's no doubt that he's winning the fight very handily, but then bad cut is a TKO, and you're out of business.
Boy, and now Fernandez, they're landing with some rocking shots here. Paulin trying to answer back. And Fernandez burning a lot of energy with 10 seconds to go in this round. Another one in the books. We'll be back with more after this. Okay, we're just ready to start the 6th round And Andres Fernandez corner just bathing that eye in adrenaline chloride, trying to stop that cut, doing anything they can, pressure, whatever it takes. And what are they doing in that corner stand to stop that cut?
Well, they're using the legal coagulants and then putting a big glob of Vaseline on top of it, hoping that it'll keep it long enough. But once you notice he gets hit, that big glob of Vaseline flies across the ring, lands on the ring post, and the cut opens up again.
And that's exactly what has just happened. Is they exchanged, a big glob went flying and blood just pouring out, just like sticking your finger in the dam, you know, to stop the flood. But Andreas continues to work. He is in good condition to throw this many punches for this long and still be maybe the stronger fighter here.
Yeah, he's just complained to the referee that his opponent continues to hold him, that Paulin continues to hold. And of course, he's going to do that. He's going to get a blow in and then hold. That's what he can do. Paulin does not look like he is out of gas in any sense of the word.
No, he doesn't.
He's moving on. He's hanging in there. And he's going to stay there.
And boy, Andres Fernandez has a lot in front of him. A tough Elias Paulin, but a nice shot rocks Paulin back on his heels. Paulin now trying to stick that jab to the eye. You can see that's exactly what he's doing. Well, Andres Fernandez was in the white trunks, but right now you might say pink, as the blood is just drenching his trunks now.
Yeah, they're both getting a little bit bloody out there.
They sure are.
Of course, it's a real crowd pleaser, but
boy,
it's just this is all what it's all about.
This is a bloody war stand for the title.
Paulin has taken a couple of bad shots right there, but he just won't go down. He just hangs in there.
Determined. I mean, he came in shape. He made the weight on the first wave.
Yep.
And I wonder now if that having to take that extra weight off is affecting Andreas at all, because he's going to need every bit of stamina in this fight if they let it continue.
Well, we're only halfway through this fight, and he's got 6 more rounds to go. Wow. And I don't know. I think the doc is being very lenient here. If there's no danger to his eye, why, he may just let it go on, let it bleed a little bit. But if it gets any closer to the eye, he's not going to take a chance.
And you got to think that stinging blood is getting into his eye. And although he hasn't been blinking much, and right now he's continuing to work. Oh, a big right hand by Fernandez. And he follows it with a left. Paulin now backing up here. Andreas came out of nowhere with that big right hand. At the bell, we'll be back for more world title action. Stay tuned. Meadows at ringside. Stan Gallup joining me. And we've got a heck of a fight. Although it's all Andres Fernandez to this point, he's really struggling against that handicap of that big cut.
Well, they put that adrenaline on there, 1 to 1,000. It's the only legal thing they can use to stop the flow of blood or get the thing to coagulate. And then, but one little tap on there, it just breaks it open quickly. You can't put any kind of a patch on it, no covering of any kind at all.
Right.
And evidently the doc thinks that it's okay.
Okay, well, the doctor's the man right now. And Elias Paulin landed a nice little left hand, which is not good for the right side of Andres Fernandez's face. Paulin definitely targeting the cut. A smart move on his part. There's a nice right hand by Fernandez, but you can see that Andres Fernandez has slowed down quite a bit on the speed of his punches.
Well, he's been working so hard to get a knockout that he's got to run out of gas here sometime. But we're going down on the downside of the fight now, so if he can just hang in there and the doctor will leave him alone, why, you know that he's going to stay there, and his coach is obviously going to leave him there too.
And he has built a nice-sized lead here that if he can just stay on his feet now, you know, and the doctor doesn't stop it, he could be the new WBB champion of the world.
Well, that'd be a great feather in the cap of everybody here in Albuquerque. It would just be great if that happened.
Again, Fernandez tried to throw a punch as referee Nepi Quintana was in the middle. Fernandez starting to score heavy now on Paulin. Maybe he's getting a little bit accustomed to having that blood pouring down his face and starting to think about boxing again. Yeah, Albuquerque, New Mexico becoming the city of champions. World champions Johnny Tapia, Danny Romero, former IBC Cruiserweight champion Sean McLean, Danny Pitbull Perez fighting Nigel Benn for the world title, and now Andres Fernandez.
Well, we've got a pretty good reputation around the world anyway, because I do a lot of traveling.
We do. We have a spokesman.
Yes, and everybody knows we're Albuquerque, New Mexico.
And it's amazing for the small population of the state to have that many good fighters. Nice shots landed by Andres Fernandez. A combination just rocked the head of Elias Paulin, but he ain't going nowhere.
No, he just he just stands up there. He's got a little bit of a bloody problem on the left nostril, but nothing like his opponent. No, nothing like Fernandez.
I'm sure he wouldn't trade.
No.
Now Andreas trying to work with a jab right hand. 10 seconds to go in this round. Another good round for Andres Fernandez. If he can keep his cool and they can keep that blood from flowing, he may be in business. We'll be back for more of this world title bout. Stick with us. We head into round 8 of this WBB title bout. Elias Paulin in the turquoise trunks. If you're just joining us, Andres Fernandez in the, well, bloody white trunks, I guess you would say. This has been a war. Andres Fernandez was in full command of this fight until suffering a big cut over the right eye. Just bleeding terribly. And Elias Paulin targeting that cut and ripping it open all he can. In the meantime, Andres Fernandez, and right there, he lands a nice left hand. But Elias Paulin must be in good condition because he's standing up to this punishment, and Andres Fernandez has put away 9 of his 10 victims, so he has a little sting on his punches. Paulin must be in top shape.
Well, he's had enough fights, both professional and amateur, so
right.
You know, he knows that the name of the game is be in shape.
Oh, there's nothing like conditioning. It can really pull out the close ones for you. Elias Paulin with a record of 12-3 with 9 KOs. And now Andres Fernandez with a nice left hand. That hurts Paulin. He's back on the ropes. Not going down, though.
It's amazing. He fights right back. He just comes right back.
Yeah.
It looks like he's not going to last the onslaught, but he sure does.
Boy, definitely a comeback kid here. Elias Paulin fighting for all he's worth for this title. It means a lot to him, as well as Andres Fernandez in front of the home crowd. As I was going to say earlier, Stan, 119-pound bantamweight limit for the WBB going by the Olympic standards. It's a little different.
Yes, it is. Everybody else has 118 pounds, then 122 and things of that sort.
Yeah.
But the WBB they're a little self-governed or whatever.
Right.
They have some different rules that I would point out here too when we have an opportunity.
Okay, and right now, Andres Fernandez continuing to keep the pressure on, and it looks like the bleeding had slowed a little bit, maybe starting to coagulate.
Well, it's possible that he hadn't been hit on it.
And that too. Well, it is streaming now a little bit though, but at one time it was just completely all over his whole face. But it has bled throughout. Boy, Andres Fernandez with the heart of a warrior. And Elias Paulin too. I mean, Elias has taken punishment and just takes it and comes back for more. Oh, and Paulin landed a right hand to the chin of Andres Fernandez. But Andres didn't go anywhere either. 10 seconds to go now in this round, and we'll be back for more action from the Lujan building in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Stay with us, everybody. Back to the action here at the Lujan building on the State Fairgrounds, the New Mexico State Fairgrounds here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Dan Cisneros at ringside along with Stan Gallup. And Stan, has this bout lived up to your expectations so far?
Well, it certainly has. As a matter of fact, I'm pleased, as is everybody here in the audience, that the thing continues in the ring. Matter of fact, I'm astounded that the fight has gone this long.
Yeah, at one time it looked like it couldn't possibly get this far, but we're into round 9 here. And Andres Fernandez has done a nice job of scoring. He is scoring with some nice punches, I think outscoring his opponent, and if he can just hang in there for a few more rounds, he could be on his way to his first title belt.
Well, I don't think there's any question. He can't possibly lose the fight unless he is knocked out, or there's a technical knockout because of the cut.
And it is bleeding again, Stan. Every round, it's the same story. Bright red blood on the face of Andres Fernandez.
You have to give Paulin credit, too, because he looks straight on. He's looking, he's not backing up a whole lot. He's looking his opponent right in the eye.
Right.
And says, hey, I'm going to stay here just as long as this fight lasts.
You're right, Stan. He's not just surviving, he's fighting back.
That's right. And he's got a little bloody nose now. We mentioned that earlier. A round or two ago, he started to bleed from the nose, but it's starting to get a little bit more. And when they both start bleeding, well, we're going to be...
Get out your raincoats at ringside. But right now, Andres Fernandez chasing Elias Paulin as he kind of slipped there. Paulin's corner is soaking wet. They've been just pouring water all over him, and that corner is just soaking wet. Paulin now tries to dig a left hand to the body. Andres Fernandez staying in the center of the ring, staying in control of this fight, keeping his head. Boy, he came close to getting disqualified, hitting Paulin when he was down. But Andres Fernandez just wants to win this title belt so bad in front of his home crowd. I guess sometimes that can play against you when your home crowd gets your adrenaline pumping.
That's true. It is true.
Yeah.
You get pumped up to the point where you lose control. Your senses go wrong on you.
Yeah, and everything happens in fast motion when you're up in the ring. Left hand missing now by Paulin, but the left hand of Fernandez gets in there. Partially blocked, but he got a little bit in there. Yeah, blood trickling from the left nostril of Elias Paulin. Both men continuing to fight. No holding, no grappling. This has been a good boxing match as far as the technique.
Yeah, we're almost through this 9th round, too, and so 3 more to go if it works out.
And we'll be back for those 3 after this. Okay. We head into round 10 now. Andres Fernandez and Elias Paulin fighting for the WBB Bantamweight Championship. And I just saw the glob of Vaseline go flying off the face of Andres, and here comes the blood again, Stan. There's just no way around it. And now Fernandez going on the attack here. He has Paulin on the ropes. Oh, and a big right hand. Referee Nefi Quintana jumps in. Standing 8 count being administered by referee Nefi Quintana. The fans don't like it, but he was on the ropes getting hammered, and he takes an 8 count. Here comes Fernandez now. Andres Fernandez, no pun intended, but smelling blood in the water. Going after it is Andres Fernandez. Elias Paulin, now he's in trouble. He is in trouble. He is taking shots to the head. He is getting pummeled in the corner now. Referee Nefi Quintana jumps in. That's it! It's all over! Referee Nefi Quintana stopped the fight. Andres Fernandez opened up with everything. Jumped all over Elias Paulin. Hammering him with shots to the head. And Stan, it's all over. We have another champion here in Albuquerque.
Well, a great surprise, a surprise ending.
Bob Matthews.
Of the 10th round, referee Nefi Quintana stops the bout. Your winner and new WBB Bantam World Champion, Andres Fernandez.
So Andres Fernandez picks up the WBB Bantamweight title.